Good morning, pop culture. We're live. I wasn't going to go live this morning because I'm not feeling too well. I posted it on Twitter, but this Marie Tran news came out and I just had to cover it. So we're going to give people some time to roll in because this wasn't scheduled. I've been working on other stuff, doing other things, trying to get some rest for the High Council and tomorrow's all-day-long Halloween stream. But I wanted to be the first one to break this story. Well, not first one ever because it comes from Cinema Blend, but I wanted to be one of the first people on YouTube to be talking about this because I got up to do other things, but this came to my attention. And it's too important not to laugh and say, I told you so to the one, the only round-headed Ryan Johnson, because that man was so quick to place blame on these terrible, shitty individuals. But now it turns out that all that garbage that he and Dr. Morton Bay have signed off on is the opposite. It's not just, oh, Russian bots dislike the movie. Russian bots were the one that attacked Marie Tran. So I'll talk about that in just a moment. I know it's early. It's late for the show normally. And like I said, there wasn't a show to be planned for this morning. So this won't be a full stream. But I saw this and I just had to share it. And I have another video talking about the Death Star 4, which you guys will have to wait for the video for that. But yeah, good morning to everyone who's out there. This is, I don't know how I want to phrase this. Serendipitous? Nah, that wouldn't be the right way to say it. I'll just say it's funny. I'll just say that it's funny. So while we wait, nothing really crazy has happened in the world of entertainment overnight. Our Walking Dead stream did get canceled because I went to bed at about 7 o'clock last night because I needed the rest. So our friend Brandon Moist was well aware that we weren't going to go live, and he was fine with that. So after we took care of that with Brandon Moist, I went to bed, and as I laid in bed trying to sleep, I watched Halloween 3, and it's the most underrated Halloween flick out there. I say it's the third best. Halloween 1, 2, and then 3. Well, you guys will have to wait for the video to hear me talk about the big Star Wars Episode 9 rumor, the 4th Death Star in quotation marks, because it's just a same old shit, different day with Disney. You know, it's funny. Here's the thing about Disney Star Wars. I talk about in this other big video I'm working on, this cultural war that we're in. Normally, there's a playbook that they go by, and people didn't really watch that video, but check it out. They go by this playbook. There's a victim. They blame harassers, this, that, and the other. And then they do all these terrible things. Then they kind of back off after they admit, oh, well, you know, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. But with Star Wars, we've kind of held them accountable every step of the way. And everything that we have fought for, everything that I've fought for, has turned out to be damn true. And it wasn't the fans attacking Rose Tico. It was convenient to talk about this shit when Solo was bombing at the box office. It helped take our attention away from that. You know, it wasn't Russian bots that disliked The Last Jedi. Everything they've told us has been a lie, deflection, a tactic to get us to pay attention to something else. And now we have more confirmation for that. So in my big video that I keep talking about, and I do mean the big one, I'm trying to go for a Mauler level length video that'll be out a little later on. You're going to hear about all of this stuff and in great detail because this is truly the year that broke Star Wars. This is the year where we actually were able to expose all the garbage that they try to pull in terms of this geek culture, this blame game. You know, we are angry as fans because the movies suck, but they want to turn it into something else. They want to turn it into an agenda-driven thing. And all I want is for you know, to be able to criticize a movie and not be told I'm a sexist and I'm a racist. So a few more viewers and we'll start. If you're close to giving up on Star Wars, I suggest you just say fuck it, man, and do it. Don't wait. We'll report all the stupid stuff they do, all the stupid stuff they pull, and we'll we'll be there on the sidelines reporting all this stuff. So if you don't have the will to hang in there with the Star Wars universe, well, hang in with us. We're a lot of fun. We're a community, and we'll take care of you. We always do. Also, this stream had to happen because I believe, according to my Facebook history, today is the 6-year anniversary, the 6-year anniversary of when Lucasfilm announced their acquisition from Disney. So 6 years ago today, I was in college. I'll never forget, I was in this guy, Dr. Newworth's class, and this girl, we called her Bearcat, was sitting next to me, and she's like, hey, did you hear Disney bought Star Wars? I was like, no, that didn't happen. And we went outside and we all checked our phones, and that was the case. So for those out there that think me at 30 are so old, we had smartphones when I was in college. It wasn't a big deal. So I pull out my shitty smartphone and I'm like, oh my God, Star Wars. They're making another Star Wars and Harrison Ford's back. He's going to die. He gone. And I was right. And I've been right about a lot of things. I'm not here to brag to you guys. I'm here to say I told you so to the people that always doubt me. But today is just an important day. It's going to be a very interesting Good Morning Pop Culture, very impromptu Good Morning Pop Culture, but it's going to be a damn fine one. Yes, it's been that long, 6 years, 2012. I mean, I don't realize where the years go. Shit, this year has been a blink and you miss it. I remember the early months leading up to Solo thinking, oh man, what am I going to do with this channel? And, believe me, we've done a lot with this channel. So tons and tons of people have been here. So you know what? It seems like we're on a weird hump for this thing, for these, the viewers. So let's just start. So for those who are leaving because you have no patience, well, shame on you. So let us start talking about Rose Tic Tac Tico. And this comes from Cinema Blend. So they're pretty reliable. Russian bots allegedly behind Kelly Marie Tran's Star Wars The Last Jedi social media attack. Whew. Those words taste so good. Kelly Marie Tran left social media because of an influx of negative responses to her role in a movie. But it seems that not all came from real sources. It turns out that potentially as much as half of the vitriol focused on Star Wars The Last Jedi's actress may have come from Russian bots, not actually angry fans. The news that Russian bots may have been involved in amplifying the negative reaction to Star Wars The Last Jedi was part of a research study published this month by Dr. Morton Bay. But in addition to the bots piling on existing general backlash aimed at film and director Rian Johnson, it seems that the criticism also included anger that was focused towards Kelly Marie Tran and her role in the film. The study found that possibly as much as 51% of the negative social media response may have been bots. It seems the source in Russia saw the negative response happening and decided to piggyback on top of it as a way to expand and the dissent and generally cause a commotion. Excuse me. To be clear, that means about half of the people sending negative Instagram responses to Kelly Marie Tran were actual people who thought they were telling her they didn't like a movie role, frequently in some petty terms. Was a good use of their time. That's still far too many. Yeah, shut up. But it doesn't mean that they were. But it also means that there weren't as many people actually doing it as that may have seemed. It was several months ago that Kelly Marie Tran disappeared from Instagram, while it was rumored at the time that she had been driven away due to ongoing harassment. It was some time before the actress opened up publicly to discuss the issue. At this point, it's unclear if Tran will ever go back to social media. Currently, the actress has an official Instagram account, but nothing has been publicly posted on it. The fact that bots got involved with something like social media responses to a movie and its actors isn't good news for anybody. That's good news for us. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to Kelly Marie Tran how much hate she received from legitimate sources. Plenty of it was, but part of it just ended up making it all harder to deal with. For people who might have had legitimate complaints about the film The Last Jedi, nobody needed to go after an actress just doing her job. Those opinions likely got overshadowed by the influx of bots movies, and now nobody really knows just so by the influx of bots movie, and now nobody really has any idea just how the fan reaction to the movie really was. Clearly people had strong opinions, but how many of those strong opinions were from actual people? So sorry, but right here, as you can see, influx of bots movies, and that's not even a word, so it threw me off, excuse me. But as you can see, the spin game is already on. Let's break this down again. Oh my God, every day it seems like there's a new way that they're trying to spin this bullshit. They're trying to Is it desperation for episode 9? I don't know. Based on the news I've heard from episode 9 now, well, fuck those people. But I digress. Let's talk about this for a moment. A few years ago, there was speculation and rumor that, what's her face? Wow, that is a great build. Excuse me. Daisy Ridley was bullied off social media. Well, then she comes out and says, no, I just didn't really want people watching me grow up. It's a weird thing. So we had to be talked down to by these self-righteous douchebags for a while. Oh, well, you know, this woman is harassed and this, that, and the other. You need to take a look inside of yourself. This fan base is toxic, this, that, and the other. Listen, Mother Jones, shut up. Stop talking down to us. Because once the truth comes out, who's the only quiet one in the room? Your ass. You're the fastest one to shut the fuck up when the narrative doesn't play into your hands. And now, a few months later, we're at the Kelly Marie Tran situation. And it's half fake bullshit. They want to tell you in this article it's not okay to tell someone you disliked their role. Well, what does a critic do? How many people shit on Tom Hardy's Venom? I haven't even seen the movie, and I don't plan on seeing the movie anytime soon. But you know what? Other people can take criticism. White dudes can get criticized in movies. Other women can get criticized in movies. But for some reason, you need to protect Kelly Marie Tran because she's of Asian descent. That doesn't make any sense. On this whole everyone's equal playing field, shouldn't everyone be held to the same standard? And so now, when you are being held to the same standard and there's some bullshit to go with it, you're supposed to, oh, well, no, you're not allowed to critique that. There should be better uses of your time. Cinema Blend, who are you to tell me how to use my time? Who wrote this? Dirk Libby. Whoop-de-doo, Dirk. You wrote an article. You got a typo right here. And then you want to talk about how, well, nobody really has any idea how much people dislike the film. Motherfucker, $750 million less shows you how much people dislike the film. A dying retail chain that can't move this shit and stores that are just getting it constantly. Like, I went out the other day and I found new stuff that hadn't been released from Walmart, not Toys R Us, and other retail chains. More Rose Tico. I got a video of that shit. If I could find a way to show it right now, I would. My point is, we do know, Dirk, how bad the fan response is to The Last Jedi. Hundreds of thousands of people online talk about how much they dislike this damn movie. And then you have Lucasfilm and Disney constantly go after you and attack you, call you bigots. They're doing all these terrible things. The worst ones are the Star Wars fan sites that go out of their way to attack us, to attack Ethan and Jeremy. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're too negative for me. Motherfucker, we're the only ones that are right in the whole situation. We've called it weeks ago, months ago. We can see it from a mile away. We can smell the bullshit. All these are ploys, these are tricks, these are ways to deflect from the negativity that came with a bad movie, because you guys took the biggest franchise of all time and the biggest entertainment company of all time, bought it, and you took the lazy, not even so safe, but the lazy, boring approach. And once people saw through your shit, you couldn't handle it because you don't want your ivory tower to fall down around you. You need Disneyland and Disney World to get your Star Wars theme parks. You need to be able to milk it for decades and decades and decades. But you chose the wrong thing, and now you're trying to spin it every day and find a new way to place blame on the fans, to place blame on people like me and Jeremy and Ethan and all these other people that are like, hey, this is wrong, this is bullshit, you're lying, or this doesn't add up. And when we look deeper into it, we find out that it's true. You know, Rose Tico wasn't just bullied off social media by angry fans. There were Russian bots, there were other things. And it's funny, too. When the Russian bots criticize The Last Jedi, well, it's the opposite of how they treat this situation. And it angers me to no end. I can't believe how we have to be talked down to. There had to be that guy that says, Rian Johnson needs to be the voice of reason. He needs to speak for this to this toxic fan base. And it's like, dude, chill out. You don't get to speak. Rian Johnson doesn't need to speak for any of us because he is the problem. He's not the moral center. He's not Jimmy Kimmel. And that's sarcasm on my end. He doesn't need to be that guy for all of us. We had a super chat from our friend Tim Riggs. Consider how useless a professor would have to be in real research to put time into that. Then extrapolate that to how useful they even were here. That Dr. Morton Bay guy, Tim, he just he added nothing to the situation. I wanted look at I was working on a video about that, but that news story kind of fell by the wayside. This is much bigger because this hits us. Excuse me. We kept getting talked, like I said, we kept getting talked down to. We kept getting berated and told we're this, that, and the other. And the only nice thing about all of this, the only positive thing to come from this in the future is their playbook is almost empty. They're going to have to come up with something newer and crazier to blame on us. You know, it was a race thing last time. What's next? Well, they tried to do the gender thing, and they tried to do the race thing this time. They're running out of minorities to sacrifice for bad Star Wars movies. Personally, I don't wish anything bad on Rose Tico. I don't know her personally. She probably is a lot more jaded than she used to be. And then she'll find this out, and it won't change anything. She'll still blame the fans. She'll still blame whatever. But this is your job. This comes with the territory. How many years have we heard... Okay, for example, I'm trying to think of an actor who plays a role. How often does Adam Sandler hear he sucks and isn't funny? Some people like him. I don't really like Adam Sandler anymore. But my point is, people, as an actor, you get shit on all the time. You get people throw critiques at you all the time. Hell, I'm nobody famous yet, and I hear it all the time. But you know what? I'm okay with it. I move on, and I keep doing what I do. The world is not full of sunshine and rainbows, and not everybody that works in entertainment or works in a public setting or produces something for public consumption is going to be met with 100% positivity. I may make a video with 1 million views and 30,000 thumbs up, but it's got 5,000 thumbs down, and you know what? That's okay. Don't always focus on the negative aspect of life. Don't go for that whole, oh, I didn't get, like, what is it? On social media, the milkshake thing from Diversity in Comics. One negative comment, and it was a whole shitstorm, and it was a whole talking to by all these douchebags at Marvel. We don't know exactly everything. Well, some people know everything that was said about her to Kelly Marie Tran, but I don't. All I know is that this channel has never gone out of their way to make fun of anything due to her race. Is she a lame character? You damn right. Am I going to apologize? You damn right I'm not. I have nothing to apologize for what I've said about Rose Tico. But I do have a stronger stance now on all of these writers that took they got up in arms. Oh, we need to do something about this toxicity in the fan base. No, we really don't, because there wasn't a toxicity in the fan base. There was a lot of people that disliked the movie, but there wasn't very much in terms of people being racist pieces of shit. People were just fed up with a bad movie, and then Russian bots or trolls or whatever the hell they are made it worse. And like Tim Riggs said about how useless that doctor is, imagine what he was, you know, this paper, this published paper makes me call into question any kind of research, published papers in terms of entertainment, because the world's a lot dumber than it used to be. And the way they discuss entertainment is just, I hate to say it, it's almost useless. Like, there are so many people out there with these useless degrees that are doing these useless research studies about entertainment. Unless it's like a Nielsen research on how we consume entertainment and stuff like that, I don't see any value in what a lot of these people contribute to society. You may have a PhD, but your research yields no positive results in terms of relevancy. So Tim Riggs also says, so I looked at this published paper. There are some issues with it at a basic level, e.g. he mentions conclusions in his abstract strongly indicating bias. The actual bots part of the study, using a botometer mentioned in the method section, 11 out of 206 accounts expressing negative sentiments were identified as bots. And that's just bots, not necessarily of Russian origin. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot more. Look at folks, if you when it comes time for our end of the year video and we talk about Dr. Morton Bay, I will come to you guys if you have some insight on how published papers are supposed to be presented. Me personally, I've never had a published paper. Went to college, graduated, did fine, but I've never written a paper like that. So, I don't know if they can do Korean bots or whatever. I think the bot excuse has really worn out its welcome. What do you guys think? Bots just don't. There's that's The bot train has run its course. It's over and done with. It's over and done with. But I know a lot of people are laughing at this situation. I know I am. I know that tonight we're going to be laughing about all of this stuff, and I'm going to be laughing about it for the next couple of days. This is exactly what I knew would happen. You get these people, they get all up in arms. They get so angry. They get so passionate about this fake shit. And then when it comes out that it's fake, they're just like, so what? Or they're just really quiet. The next couple of months are going to be, quite interesting to say the least. And the result, what is it? 2020. So 2019 is when episode 9 comes out. The end of 2019, early 2020. If this movie has problems and other bullshit, I'm waiting to see how they spin it. And all these people are doing is giving the fans ammunition. Disney wants Star Wars to last forever. It's not going to last forever until they get out front of these stupid writers and they say, hey, maybe that's not the case. An official Disney edict that says, well, maybe people didn't like something or something like that would shut up a lot of people on both sides of the criticism spectrum. Spectre. That's a movie that I have more criticisms of the older or the further I get away from it. But I'm sure, like they're saying in the chat right now, Russian bots don't buy movie tickets. And you guys have been belittled, dehumanized. So if you're tired of being called a Russian bot, a non-existent series of binary code, well, then you know what to do. If you're pissed off and you don't want to see this movie, that is your prerogative. I can't call for a boycott. I won't call for a boycott. All I call for you guys is to do what you feel is right, of course. And we'll see where they fall in terms of that billion-dollar movie. They got lucky one time with episode 7. They're not going to get it again. The Russian bots versus the NPCs, they're all the same to me. Garbage. Useless. Just, they don't add anything to anything. Let's see. Why should we like Rose Tico? She was written as a lame character, said the so-called director himself. Yeah, I talked about that in the Director and the Jedi video that I made many months ago. Rose Tico was intentionally lame. You don't have to like Rose Tico. You can't be bullied or guilted into like a character. Just because a character is played by a minority actress or actor doesn't mean you have to like it. Let's be honest, folks. You don't have to like the Black Panther, and it doesn't make you a racist. If you dislike the movie, you dislike the movie. That's the beauty of today's world. If you dislike something, you shouldn't be guilted into liking it or accepting it. And don't do that with Rose Tico. Don't do it with Black Panther. Don't do it with anything. If you dislike Rey because she's a lame character like I feel, well, I'm not a sexist. I don't dislike her because she's a woman. I dislike her because she's poorly constructed and trying to promote something outside of just, a character in a movie. A lot of people are saying they're never going to buy another Star Wars product again. They're not going to go see movies again. I strongly suggest that you guys tell this to Disney. I made a video that gave you all the information on how to contact Lucasfilm, Disney, and Bad Robot Productions. Not a lot of people watched it. Very few, actually. 20,000 out of the roughly 55 we had back then. If you guys really want to stick it to them, let them know. Write them a letter. Write those letters. Send them in. Tell them how you were belittled. I've read some of them on videos. One guy wrote in a letter that was read on our Kathleen Kennedy video that got 1 million views. If you do something like that, write something to Lucasfilm. Let me know. You can be angry. You can be tired of this constant game that they want to play. Because one thing in Hollywood that I don't think these people know the meaning of the word to is accountability. They don't have to be held accountable for their failures, their mistakes, their stupidity, the things they say. Certain people of certain persuasions have to be held to a certain degree of accountability. But people like a Rian Johnson don't. They get away with this garbage. Well, guess what? Let Lucasfilm and Disney know why you're not going to see the movie, why you're not going to do this, why you're not going to do that, and place the blame on Rian Johnson because it all stems from his stupid movie. And if you wrote a letter, that's awesome. I will link the video right now. Give me a moment while I'm talking. But if you write that letter, you can say that you've done more. How to contact Disney Channel for auditions. I don't want to go on Disney Channel for auditions. Here we go right here. How to contact. If you want to save Star Wars, here's how to contact Disney. There we go. So here you go, folks, in the chat right now. Here's this. Yeah, I thought Black Panther was better than the last Thor movie as well. But I'm just saying, a lot of people want to tell you, oh, you're racist if you don't support that movie blindly. You're not. You're not. You just like what you like, dislike what you dislike. If somebody said to me, Jeff, you got to watch a movie starring a black lead, well, there's about a million other movies, including one of my favorites, that I could watch before Black Panther. See, that's the shitty attitude to have there, Squisher 420. Writing Disney is as effective as writing your senator. It doesn't matter if you got to just do it. You know, for the time that you spent to write the messages, you could have written the same thing to them. So, you know, complaining to me doesn't do anything. It's cool to watch the content. I give you guys the voice, the direction where to take it. But you got to go do the legwork yourself. That's how this stuff works. You know, if you want to make the changes, you got to do the work. It's real easy. It's real basic. You just got to do it. So a million and one excuses why nothing will work, but you've never done anything is the problem. Apathy is when they win. Yeah, you know, it's okay. I'll do whatever I don't want. Tim Riggs sent in a super chat that says, Jeff, what are the odds you think that KK had Ryan wearing not just nipple clamps, but a ball gag and cock ring as well? Huh. Well, I'm going to go with a 5-to-1 odd on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if he was walking around with a carrot as well. The dude, the level of incompetence is so incredible in that camp. Now, the thing is, Tim, to jump off your joke, my point, I honestly think that Kathleen Kennedy went in giving Rian Johnson more creative control because she thought of him as this artist. You know, he came from independent cinema. He spun a great web of a tale of, oh, I can do this and that, and this is how I see this and that. But she was duped by that crap. She just allowed it to happen, which is weird because she didn't buy into the Lord and Miller thing, which she should have, because Lord and Miller have had more successful films than Rian Johnson has had. When people think Rian Johnson, they think of Looper, maybe an episode or two of Breaking Bad, but in reality, Rian Johnson isn't what made Breaking Bad great. The Vince Gilligan, the producer, and Bryan Cranston and other people that without Rian Johnson, it would have been the same exact episode. His weird bohemian ass did not add anything to that franchise. Now, I think that Kathleen Kennedy just allowed him. She bought into that because she wanted to seem cool and hip. Go watch the director in the Jedi special features. She goes in there and basically, you know, pats him on the back. Good job, Ryan. I believe in everything you say. And then they're focused on Canto Bite and all this other crap that got cut out of the movie. People wonder why you still talk about this movie nearly a year later because of garbage like this. I keep talking about the cultural war, the cultural war. I've been talking about it since 2017. We're in the middle of it still. If you can save Star Wars, you can save all this other crap because they'll know that the biggest franchise, they tried to dupe us and it didn't work. And I say you make sure you have the same attention focused on all the upcoming Marvel movies, including Captain Marvel, Infinity War Chapter 2, Eternals, all of that stuff. Make sure that those films are going to be scrutinized as well. Anything that comes out of Disney, you need to pay attention to because Disney is the nefarious emperor in all of this. And eventually, people just need to put the sunglasses on people and let them see what the hell is going on. Can anyone do a Ruin Johnson meme with a ball gag, nipple clamps, and gimp outfit and then post it to the World Class Bullshitters Facebook? I would laugh my ass off if I saw that. That person would win Listener of the Week for sure. A meme winner of the week. We'll bring that back just for that person. Even Mary Poppins. Yeah, pay attention to Mary Poppins. They might try to pull that bullshit on you. Now, I just mentioned some Marvel movies for a moment. I wanted to show you guys, or tell you guys, apparently, this is the rumor that Black Widow is set to hit theaters on May 1st of 2020, and the Eternals will follow on November 6th of 2020. We had a super chat from our friend the Pui. Morning, Jeff. $2. Woo! Morning to you, Pui. 2 thank yous. Thank you. As I was saying earlier, folks, this episode wasn't really planned. Therefore, it's not going to be a full-on Good Morning Pop Culture. I don't have a cold or the flu or anything like that. I just felt like I got beaten up. Like if you could put me in a giant dryer, I felt like I was on tumble mode for hours. Thankfully, I feel better now, but it was rough as shit. So, Disney may hashtag get woke, go broke. I don't think they'll ever go broke. Believe me, I don't think Disney and Google, any of these companies that are too big, will ever go broke. Walmart. But what we will see happen is you will see these franchises become less and less viable at the box office. The more and more people are aware of the games, their treachery, the kung fu treachery of evil Dr. Wu. You can tell me what movie that's from, you get a high five. And so the movies will have a less and less turnout. Oh, Infinity War made $2 billion. Well, then the next one, if Captain Marvel's garbage, well, the next one made $1.65 billion. And then, they've never had another $1 billion hit. Like I said, these people on this cultural war, they want to be part of the first. So they want to be the first one to do this and do that. They can't because people can vote, people can do this, people can do that. The world's integrated. Get over it. You don't get to be the first to promote anything. Then you can't guilt people into these movies too. Disney could go broke. We just won't see it coming. I would be surprised to see Disney go down. Now, like I said in the big video I'm working on, what happens if their streaming service fails? They can buy up all these other studios and make money, but they're canceling a lot of these X-Men movies. They're canceling all these other things. They're basically buying up stuff to try to put it into the MCU, into this, into that, and put it on the streaming service. And I don't think they've had the foresight with the streaming service that they tell us they did. They wouldn't have sold this shit off to Turner for Star Wars if they had all these big plans. Disney Play, they just announced the name not too long ago. All these decisions seem very last minute. And streaming is the future, but eventually it's just going to be like having your own in-demand channel, or on-demand channel, excuse me. And at the end of the day, people are going to be burnt out. Let's see. Jeff, when they mess with culture to indoctrinate us by shoving their poison down people's throats, they face the backlash through money or a lack of money. Yeah. That is what's going on right now. And Star Wars just seems to be the biggest one. If Toys R Us can go broke, I don't see Disney could not. It's only a matter of time. Well, Toys R Us is a much different situation, actually, because it was bought by that other group. They used that to levy their debt. Mitt Romney and all those people were involved. Disney is too smart to go bankrupt. Plus, all their parks and stuff make money. Lucasfilm could have serious financial financial repercussions in the future, but I don't foresee Disney proper ever going away. Much like I don't see Warner Brothers or Universal or Apple, Google, just these places, I just don't see them ever dying off. Maybe they'll have off years, different things here and there, but overall, they're such big entities that have, like McDonald's. McDonald's is the biggest landowner, I believe, in terms of like they own more land or whatever. They make the money off of that shit. So while people may not eat McDonald's, they still make money off the land and they're going to be fine. So these other places have other ways to make money. Thanks, Coach Red Pill. Well, maybe that's true. They can, given the massive amounts of debt on their balance sheets due to buy Fox. That would be an interesting scenario. Do I want it to happen? I'm not going to say no. What a bizarre world we would live in if Disney went bankrupt. I guess maybe their studios would be, in big problems, but their theme parks seem to be doing great. And even somebody like Jeremy, who hates what Disney Star Wars is doing, he loves the theme parks. That's his jam, and that doesn't make him a shill or anything bad. It's a whole different beast that these people support and they're into. I don't do anything Disney. Anything. I have like 2 Disney movies on DVD. The Incredibles, that's a Pixar film. I don't own a single, traditional Disney movie at all. I'm just out of it. I grew out of it much more than a boycott to, stick it to them in terms of Star Wars. Let's see. Disney has a history of failed ideas. Sometimes, though, their failed ideas seem really cool in concept. I know Michael Eisner gets shit on by a lot of Disney enthusiasts, but the stuff he was coming up with, I'm like, man, I wish I was around for that. That sounds kind of fun. Hello to everyone that's joining us. It would take literal decades of abysmal performance for Disney to go bankrupt. Aside from billions in cash reserves, they have hundreds of billions in equity, IPs, etc. They have tons of leverage. Tim, that's the stuff I was thinking of too. We can watch from the sidelines, but it ain't ever going to happen. We'll be completely fine. Disney keeps going for things in decline. Star Wars is in a bad place. When they bought it, streaming services are on their way out for oversaturation. Yes, oversaturation. That's what I was trying to use, the phrase. But was Star Wars really in a bad place? I thought Star Wars was in a pretty happy medium where it was still part of popular culture. You'd get the Blu-rays, you'd get new things, and they felt special. You kept getting merchandise and all these things. Video games. I don't know. I didn't think Star Wars was in a decline. As a fan, I was very happy. Episode 3 ended on such a high note, I felt like we were finally in a place of peace. Let's see. Swinging Cod, thank you very much for your super chat. They said the same about Sears once. If they piss off Middle America, their money region, pushing NPC crap, they could find themselves in trouble. Oh, yeah. Sears is gone. They just closed the 2 by us. There's a third one on its way out. I guess it's a different scenario, though, Swinging Cod. Like Tim Riggs says, they have so much. Plus, what changed with Sears from the outset is what I'm guessing is the way people consume. Like, for example, I just got an email that says my Batman the Animated Series Blu-ray will arrive today from our friend Stephen Morgan. People just aren't shopping in the stores doing that stuff. Disney has the outlet for these people to consume their content in different ways. I think if people just stop going to see the Disney movies in theaters, it'll hurt that aspect. But remember, there are a lot of parents out there. Now, if you're one of these people that listens to this, I'm not attacking, but there are a lot of people that just buy their kids shit and then they just go off and do their own thing. There are a lot of parents who just blindly buy Disney because it's safe, much like a lot of families blindly buy Nintendo because it's safe. Those people are a big group of people. Like, I'll never forget, my aunt used to put my cousin in front of the TV and he would watch Mickey Mouse tapes all day long. My mom's like, I'm not into that, blah, blah, blah. There is always going to be those people, or there will always be those people who just blindly buy the Disney stuff. And that's a big chunk. There are a lot of people that have this goodwill towards Disney and all this family bullshit. And there's always going to be a way for them to be fine and survive. They'll buy the world before we know it. But if you do piss off Middle America, and the thing is, these movies in general really shouldn't go for this fringe minority belief system, because it does turn off a lot of people, even people who are open-minded and traveled or who are more progressive than others. Still, when you piss off or when you piss on certain beliefs and values, it kind of turns people off. Star Wars didn't piss on any beliefs or values for me outside of this is a bad entertainment product and I don't trust it. But if you piss off certain people, there are a lot of pro-American, very diehard patriots. If Captain America, like in the book, he became a Hydra agent, which essentially was a Nazi. If they pulled that shit in the movies, people would be up in arms. You would see reports on all kinds of news outlets. You'd see people bitching up a storm online. You can't afford that. Nobody can afford that kind of negative press. Star Wars had that negative press, but they tried to deflect it onto this. The Pui, thank you very much for your super chat. And just think, Disney was almost bought by the Japanese in the 1980s. I did not know that was a possibility, and I wish that would have happened. That would have been cool. Well, think of all the stuff we wouldn't have. Star Wars would have been its own thing, so the Japanese would not have bought Star Wars. But we probably wouldn't have had the advent of Pixar the way we do and the Disney animation renaissance in the late 80s, early 90s. There was a lot of goodwill towards, at least for my end, Disney was fine as a kid. And I grew up, and now it's just like, man, they are really, really efficiently evil. Good for them, I guess, but bad for all of us. I guess we had our chance, kind of like in Infinity War. Disney was Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and we had our chance. You should have gone for the head. Well, we didn't, and now we're all fucked. They snapped originality out of existence. So a lot of passionate people in the chat this morning. That's awesome. I'm glad I did this show. Like I said, I completed a whole nother video. I was just getting ready to go into the final editing stages. And I thought, this Rose Tico situation is too good not to talk about. So for those listening on the replay, I hope you enjoy it. I'm not closing out. Don't worry. I just wanted to tell you guys thanks. Sears did it to themselves for hiring some piss-poor employees who kept stores in disarray and had some pretty bad third-party suppliers. Home Depot is far ahead of Sears and home-based products. Sears closing was worse than Kmart. It's funny how we start talking about business stuff, because this really interests me, because we're a business, all kinds of other people on YouTube. You really are in business for yourself. It's not just necessarily I make videos and you guys watch them and we talk. You know, we make shirts and other stuff. You talk about suppliers and you make business deals and you make these decisions too. And if anything, much like Mundane Matt's channel and the Channel Awesome stuff, a lot of these things should be cautionary tales. I think Disney is too smart to allow themselves to go down the Sears path or stuff like that. That is why, and maybe this isn't a popular opinion, but maybe that's why they cut themselves off from James Gunn. They don't want to incur any kind of negativity in that kind of regard. Because like I said a moment ago, Disney has this blind loyalty from a lot of people from generations, like my grandma, for example. When I was a kid, anytime a new Disney movie came out on VHS, my grandma just went out and bought it for me because she knew that I liked that stuff to a degree and that she knew it was something that kids could watch. And she would give it to me to watch, and I would watch it, and she would go do her own thing. She knew I would be at least entertained for 90 minutes. Having yourself associated with something like that may have been bad in terms of the optics for your company. So maybe that is why at the end of the day he was ultimately let go. Disney doesn't want that kind of stuff associated with them. And historically, it never ends well. I know it's funny, too, how the EU, man, the EU pissed off a lot of people getting rid of that stuff. That's all I can say. Wreck-It Ralph 2 looks like hot garbage. I'm not going to watch it. The first one was okay, but I just don't like Sarah Silverman that much, and the first one was good enough, but not good enough for me to continue to support it. Star Wars was perfectly fine before Disney. The fact that there wasn't a new movie out actually made it great. Made it fun to find out new Star Wars facts and content like a scavenger hunt. It did. And as a collector, it was always nice to go out and find, oh man, they upgraded Han Solo, or they upgraded Luke or Leia or somebody. It was always cool to keep that shit modern and current. Say what you will about the special edition changes, but George Lucas was able to keep Star Wars modern for 20 plus years. It had that nice dormant period from 1985 to 1995, that 10-year gap. But from 95 to 2012, you know, Star Wars was always doing something each year, and it was a big event, be it Shadows of the Empire in 1996 with the book, the soundtrack, the video game, and the toy line. Why not more of those? Why not more of those? And with today's technology and video games and all this stuff, you could have these great expansive storylines. But what do? They go for the cheap loot boxes, thin gameplay, stupid online multiplayer bullshit. Star Wars was not about first-person shooters. Star Wars was about action and story, ship battles, all kinds of stuff, reliving your favorite moments from the film, imprinting yourself on those moments from the film. The word progressive has been so tainted by these NPCs, I've begun to despise it. Me too. Because I like to think of myself as a guy who doesn't have racial bias towards or against anyone. I don't really care. People are people. I'm fine with that. But in, you know, discussing the entertainment world the way we do in this cultural war that we're living through, that phrase does sometimes bring with it a negative connotation, and it makes one wonder if it's the right way to do it, right way to say it, how to use it properly. Let's see. Shaun White is getting attacked for dressing up as Special Jack from Tropic Thunder. Fuck these people. Oh, you mean Simple Jack? You will make me happy? See, Tropic Thunder wouldn't be made today, but it needs to be made because there are some uncomfortable truths that movie put in front of your face. And Tropic Thunder is one of the best comedies in the last well, 10 years because it came out 10 years ago. But I'd say in the last 18 years of the new millennium, Tropic Thunder's up there, in my opinion, is one of the funniest movies. And it came out at the perfect time, too, in Robert Downey Jr.'s career. If you thought Iron Man was going to be his one thing, give him a few more months, and there's Tropic Thunder. And then a few months after that, Sherlock Holmes, this, that, and the other thing. Man, his resurgence was incredible. I don't know how he did it, but I'm glad he did. No, this isn't a time machine from 6 months ago. This is from 19 hours ago. We now found out the truth about Kelly Marie Tran. Richard, I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather. I hope he's doing better. Did you know some papers in the UK have been making fun of SJWs? I have not. I did not know that, Richard. I know one of our listeners, he knows who he is. He's from the UK. He fills me in with all kinds of craziness from that part of the world, but I did not know. If you want to tell me more, keep tagging me. I'm curious to see what the situation is. Tropic Thunder is one of my top 5 favorite comedies. It's a great movie. The audio commentary is funny in the film and the Blu-ray, so I'll have to check that out. LucasArts kept us going with X-Wing on Windows 3.1. I loved X-Wing. I had it on, I guess it was DOS. We had Windows 95. But the only thing that sucked about Windows or X-Wing back in the day is you had to have the book because it said, please go to this page and type in the code. And if you lost the book, well, you think that's why I played the game very much as a kid, because I never could keep the book in the same place. Now, that's, that was my fault, but I was young. I was, 7 or 8 in the 3rd grade, so. Where else are we at? The irony of Russian bots being to blame against the Star Wars SJWs gives me warm and fuzzies. Yeah, it makes me feel good, too. Like I told you guys at the beginning of this, everything that we have said about their attacks on the people that didn't like a movie, all that shit is just it's just thin garbage. It holds no weight, no water, no value. And now it's all collapsed. And we'll always be here to tell you when their arguments have fallen apart on them. Like, I take great pleasure in finding this out. I don't take any pleasure in knowing that Kelly Marie Tran was attacked or harassed online. I don't like that. I don't wish anything bad on her, the person. But I do take pleasure in knowing that all their garbage that they try to lump onto us really holds no weight, and we were right all along. It is just one big game of I told you so. So if anything, I thought we were going to be going into Star Wars Celebration with a much more neutral tone. We were all going to be kind of like, okay. No, we kind of have more ammunition going into the show. We're very, I know, they just have made the wrong decision with attacking us. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. Star Wars TIE Fighter easily demolishes X-Wing. I didn't have X-Wing or TIE Fighter. I just had X-Wing, but I liked it. UK tabloids have been using the term snowflake with greater frequency. That recently made me double take. Yeah, I don't know that from firsthand, but I've seen it a lot too on Facebook. I think people are just fed up with this crap, and it's nothing to do with race or gender or equality. People are just fed up with the way stuff is being reported. They're fed up with the way the media operates. And thankfully, with the internet, well, at least for the time being for some people, we can talk to each other, and we can compare notes and see how things are, and discuss our problems, our dissatisfaction. What else we got? Kelly Tran should be so upbeat. The character was poor, but hey, put it behind you. Keep working. No, that won't be the case. Remember, she's going to probably be quite Mara jaded going on into the future. It's not going to be, put it like this. Her career can go anywhere she wants if she just gets over this Star Wars thing. Let's see. Tim Riggs, thank you very much. I want to see the anal cyst of the number. That's what it says. I want to see the anal cyst on the number of Russian bots that were pissed off after they saw The Last Jedi and didn't buy the effing Blu-ray. Oh, wait. Oh, God damn it, Tim. That's all I can say. I want to know the next excuse. Like, Mike Zero gets his Star Wars content from the future. Hey, Mike Zero, can you tell us what the next pejorative term they're going to use to describe the percentage of the fans who didn't like this movie? Is it that same percentage that doesn't buy their shit? I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi bed sheets for $2. But brand new in the packaging in a store. That's a new low for Star Wars. That's a new low for anything. Let's see. I'm gonna okay, Kenny Power, 6 kids. Let's see. Relics of the Past. CNN is the ones behind preying on all the SJW bullshit in Star Wars. All kinds of news outlets are. It's funny. I always say, we can never get political, but now they're making these things political. And I think that's where the problem lies. It used to be it used to be like Switzerland. It was kind of neutral. Star Wars, this, that, and the other. Who cares what you believe in? Darth Vader was cool. Luke was cool, blah, blah, blah. Now it's very, very red versus blue, and not in a good way. If the Phantom Menace had a theme song, it would be Rolling Stones' I Can't Get No Satisfaction. It's a good song. I like the Stones. People have been talking about a lot of music in our Facebook groups. Let me know what songs you guys like. I think my favorite Stones song is probably, I don't know. I like Under My Thumb, Hey You Get Off My Cloud, Jumpin' Jack Flash. I like their older stuff. Media is in a bad place because of the companies that own companies. Since a bunch of media are owned by the same parent company, they report the exact same thing. Yeah, and those companies all have agendas and biases. Is biases a word? I don't know. I'm sorry. It's early, and I didn't want to do this. Actually, I did want to do this. That's why I did it. But these companies, I don't know. The corporate interest outweighs the journalistic integrity. Probably Mondi. Probably. Jeff, don't diss on Mike Zero. He is a seer that can see all the future, even potential future. Well, Mike Zero, hook us up. Can I get the Powerball numbers for the next $1 billion jackpot? I'd appreciate that. Give Me Shelter is a great song. It's funny how the NPC thing has become such an outrage for essentially those people. They can't handle that. It's like, it's like the one undisputed or indisputable thing. Alpha Terranima, thank you very much for your super chat. There was a Kylo Ren themed pretend shaving kit for The Force Awakens. I saw it at the gift shop at Cracker Barrel and nearly lost my shit laughing. First off, I like Cracker Barrel quite a bit. If I lived closer to one, I think I could go for some hash brown casserole this morning. Please don't talk about food. I haven't eaten yet, but I digress. There are countless stupid Star Wars pieces of merchandise. Pretend shaving kit. For the man that can't really grow a beard, Adam Driver, let's give you a fake shaving kit, Kylo Ren. The petulant teenager, the perpetual petulant teenager, Kylo Ren, and his fake shaving kit. Alpha Terranima, instead of, laughing, understand how accurate and appropriate that piece of merchandise for Kylo Ren was. I mean, next up is Kylo Ren tampons and Kylo Ren Midol. And after that, I think he pretty much hit the trifecta of Kylo Ren merchandise. Cramps, bloating, that time of the month, and fake shaving. You got it all for Kylo Ren. Mike Zero's our Doctor Strange. If only he had a bitch and cape. I haven't been watching WWE. I'm sorry. I know about... I was going to bring this up, but I didn't want to make it overtly political again. But have you guys heard about how they're trying to go to Saudi Arabia for all this these wrestling shows due to big amounts of money they're going to pay? But then they show Saudi Arabia propaganda videos about how a progressive future is coming and all this stuff. It's really bizarre to watch wrestling and then see that. I don't really know what else to say. But then they had that all-female pay-per-view the other night, and the tickets were selling for $6, and that's not a joke. Good morning to you, too, everyone who's in here. I appreciate all the love and support. It's good to see everybody. Yeah, the women's pay-per-view, I didn't watch it. I like Becky Lynch, though. I really do. I told you guys I sat on a plane with her once and didn't realize it was her. I fucking refuse. Adam Driver has enough testosterone in his girlish frame to necessitate shaving his face. His legs, sure. Oh, poor guy. Let's see. The NPC thing is something that describes an actual quantifiable percentage of the world. It reminds me of that episode of Doctor Who. Was it Silence in the Library? Was it the Hey Who Turned Out the Lights thing, where they just go back to their or zombies are just like NPCs, like Dawn of the Dead, how it's supposedly a critique of consumerism. Why do the zombies go back to the mall? It's their pre-programmed function to consume, to do this, to do that. It's quite interesting when you break it down like that. The filmmakers that had their fingers on the pulse are either dead or they're not doing much anymore. John Carpenter had his finger on the pulse. Thankfully, he's still alive. I feel like if he had the right motivation and the right backer financially, John Carpenter could tell another truly great story. George Romero, one of the best filmmakers of all time. Even if you don't like the zombie genre, the dude got the human condition, and he was a cool guy. Lucas had it at one point, but he himself has admitted he became the empire, the thing he was fighting against. He became the system. Spielberg, I don't want to call Spielberg a sellout, because I don't think Spielberg was ever... He seems like your friend that was always an old man. Like, I got two friends that just seem like they're always old men. Spielberg kind of was there already. He knew what he wanted to do. I don't think of a young, hungry Spielberg. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Because look at the breadth of his work. It's quite impressive. Even if you don't love it like I do, it's still, you have to step back and go, damn, dude has made the biggest hits of all time. But the people that really want to say something that's not just a political message on the left, they're few and far between. You won't find that anymore. And I think you need it. Not because you need to... I think it's because you need to make people think. Making people think about their situation, question their existence in a good way, is a skill very few filmmakers have. I can't deny the genius of Michael Bay. You know what I can't deny about Michael Bay? He knows what people want, and people pay to see it. People want explosions and TNA and stuff like that. I don't like the Transformers movies. I think they're overly long. But at least Michael Bay has the balls to do what he wants in those movies. And I hate how everyone in today's society has to be like, oh, we can't show skin or this or that. It's offensive. You know, give into the primal urges. If I was making movies and I wanted people to go see them constantly, give people what they want subconsciously, and they'll just go back and go back and go back. It works. It works. I just don't know why they don't. Lena Dunham's writing a movie for Steven Spielberg. It better not be Indiana Jones. Oh yeah, they're remaking it. She's the boulder from the beginning. Dion will love it. Dion will love it. War of the Worlds. That's a pretty decent movie, a Spielberg film. Shia LaBeouf sucks. He does. The Rock is one of my favorite action movies. The Rock is my favorite wrestler, but I know what you're saying, Kenny Powers. The Rock is a damn fine movie. I guess there are more Michael Bay movies I dislike than like. Like, I can't stand Armageddon. But it's, you know, he's not as offensive as a Rian Johnson, because when people don't like his shit, I don't really see them trying to write paper. The thing is, Michael Bay movies are acceptable to shit on, but you can't shit on a Star Wars movie because you're a sexist. It's because being woke is a fad to these people. Well, fads die out. Do you guys remember the man bun? Well, those are dying out, thankfully. What other fads have died out? Jinko jeans, Pogs, Fubu, Ugg boots, lug boots. What other fads have died out? Tamagotchi. All kinds of fads have come and gone, but none of them have been as detrimental to the world as going woke. See, Shia LaBeouf went totally insane from what I heard. I do like the Do It video, though. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. I even did the hand motion. I'm glad you guys can't see me right now. I'll give Michael Bay respect. I like Bad Boys and The Rock, and he understands the audience better than Lucasfilm does. Yeah, I too like Bad Boys and The Rock, Bad Boys 2, Pain and Gain. I like all those movies. I really like a lot of those shitty 90s action flicks, like even though this isn't Michael Bay, but Con Air and Face Off and all those movies. I enjoy the shit out of those. Those are just fun, stupid, mindless films that you can go into and enjoy. Acid wash jeans. I was about to bring that up. North Face jacket and UGG boots combo. Oh my god, those are the things that college girls were made of in Michigan. Every college girl, tights, UGG boots, and a North Face jacket. Every once in a while, one of the girls would have a Michigan State sweatshirt on, but they all dressed the same. And I don't know. There's that photo online where all the girls are dressed in the same gear, and they're like, "Hey, look, it's Han Solo season." I thought to myself, that's the truest picture I've ever seen on the internet, because I've lived through that. Con Air is awesome. Yeah, I love Con Air. I got it on Blu-ray, like I said. Let's see, the best thing that Shia LaBeouf has done was get the fuck trolled by 4chan does He Will Not Divide Us art installation. Oh, the one where people like looked at the clouds and shit and determined what direction stuff was in, and found his flag. That was impressive. That was very impressive. Oh, fidget spinners. You want to talk about, I remember, so when I would go out and film some of those Star Wars videos last year, early this year, you would go to these stores and they would have stacks and stacks of fidget spinners and no one was buying them. They're like $5 for $1. What was the thing? You know, one of my friends buys into every fad, and fidget spinners was one of them. And then he got rid of them just as quick as he bought them all. I don't mean to attack a person in general when I say this, but like people that buy into every new fad don't have much of an identity for themselves. They're perpetually trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're never trying to carve out their own unique identity, or they're not trying to build on their identity or expand who they are. It's just whatever is popular, whatever is new, they go jump to it, and that's it. And that maybe makes you an NPC as well. You just exist to consume, and you don't have your own thing. Let's see. At least Transformers 1 was decent. And I thought Transformers 1 was decent as well. I saw it opening night. Yeah, I did see it opening night. I thought it was decent. I just started watching that 70s show, and it's funny as hell. Oh my god, you just started watching that 70s show? I've watched that entire series 3 or 4 times. I can't watch it anymore. I hate to disappoint you, Jacob. It starts out great and it ends depressing. Seriously, Donna becomes the biggest shithead character ever in entertainment. I hate Donna Pinciotti. And everybody else is stupid too. Fez, ugh. Brandon Moist, thank you very much. Thing I hate, ISIS, The Last Jedi, Fidget Spinners, DC Metro. Oddly specific, Brandon Moist, but thank you very much. And by the way, I'm sorry I was sick last night, but we'll get your Walking Dead stream worked out soon, my friend. Believe me, I wanna shit on that film or that series with you. Shai should play Einstein in a biopic. No kidding. He's like Einstein's reincarnation. Dustin, is that you? If SJW Disney got a hold of Spaceballs, Amy Schumer would play the Joan Rivers robot character. Beep boop, my vagina. Beep boop. That's all she would say. You could never do a Family Guy or Robot Chicken Star Wars again. But man, if you could do that and make fun of other celebrities involved, that'd be really great. I think we need that right now. The thing that saddens me the most is that none of these movies will be timeless classics. Yeah, well, it saddens me too. I don't think we've had a truly timeless classic in quite a while. One of my favorite characters from that 70s show is Hyde. Hyde was great. I like Kelso, Hyde, and Red. Eric's a dillhole. I can't stand him. Ooh, The Island with Scarlett Johansson. She was one of my first crushes. Thoughts on Bohemian Rhapsody, like the movie? Is that what the Freddie Mercury movie's called? I'm not going to go see it. I just really don't care for Queen music that much. Yeah, I know. People are going to click off and go, oh, he doesn't like Queen? No, I don't. Why lie to you guys? That's all I can say is why lie? Just another one, Bites the Dust, is a good song. They don't, what's that, Ain't No Stopping Me or whatever. That's a good song too. Queen has good music. It's not enough for me to go watch their movie. That's all I can say. Let's see. Thank you, Richard. I'm glad you picked up Stealing Soul, and I'm glad to hear that your grandpa is out of the hospital. I know my grandma goes to the hospital. It's scary because she's like 94, so you never know what's going to happen. Another one rides the bus. It's great. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a classic. Oh, well, once enough time has passed. I think Tucker and Dale versus Evil is currently a classic. I forgot. We had some classic horror films come out, but I was thinking like in the sci-fi or superhero genre in the last 5 years. Because if you go back, Avengers was a classic, but a lot of stuff that followed it, while it was good, will not be as remembered. Yep, I knew people were going to unsub when I didn't like Queen. That's fine. Let's see. What about The Room, Tales from the Hood 2, Birdemic? They will go down as timeless classics of the worst films ever. I like The Room. The Room's fun to me. Tales from the Hood 2 is offensive. Birdemic, never seen it. Have I seen No Country for Old Men? Yeah, the movie kicked ass. The movie kicked a lot of ass. I like the Coen brothers. I even like Burn After Reading a lot. I think that movie, I don't think a lot of people understand that movie, but I think it's a fucking genius film. Infinity War will be forgotten. Probably. If you noticed, I didn't mention Infinity War. While I loved it, and it was one of my favorite, it was my favorite movie of this year, I just, the novelty of all the Marvel characters coming together has worn off. Wonder Woman won't be a classic either. Thoughts on the Vice, the Dick Cheney movie? Haven't seen it or heard about it. I need to explain Tales from the Hood to Jeremy and Ethan on the next High Council. Oh, I told them off air last week because they're like, we got to know. So I explained it to them and they went, oh my God. So they already know about it, Tim. They already know about it. Let's see. You need to okay. And you win me back by liking No Country for Old Men. I hate having to explain the movie to people. What's there to explain? I thought it was a very straightforward movie, but it was good. I really liked it. Thank you, John Harrison. Brad Pitt's death and Burn After Reading was the only fun part of that film. I don't know if it was the only fun part. I love when he calls up John Malkovich. He's like, Osborne Cox, is your shit secure? Yes! This is Osborne Cox. Who the fuck are you? I love that movie. Or when Richard, what's his face, goes like, I'm here to represent Fit Bodies Gym, and he goes out and hits him over the head with the axe or whatever. It's a weird movie. Or at the very end with J.K. Simmons, like, what did we learn here? He's like, nothing. Pay the woman. I need to get that on Blu-ray. I fucking love Burn After Reading so much. Big Lebowski's a great movie as well. So many great movies. Well, folks, I think I'm going to get ready to close this out in a moment. I just really wanted to bring up the Kelly Marie Tran thing. I need to rest up for tonight, and then tomorrow's all-day Halloween stream. Will be a list of top 3 movies for me. Oh, easy. Back to the Future, Star Wars, and I like Die Hard. Favorite Halloween movie, The Monster Club. Never heard of it. Do you mean The Monster Squad? Like with the kids? Because I've never heard of The Monster Club. People are like, no, sorry. I got to get back to the video. I told you guys, I want to make sure I do more videos. Let's see. I need a daily dose of GMPC. Well, you got your daily dose. I need more rest is what I need. The Wolfman's got nards. Marethialine says, I just tuned in. Ha. Sorry, Marethialine. I'll stay an extra 5 minutes just for you. Die Hard, possibly the best action movie ever. Not possibly, is. Dion's like, I don't know, Lethal Weapon, man. I'm like, no, Lethal Weapon's a good movie, but the first one's not even the best one. The second one is. Let's see. Wolfman's got nards. You never. Wolfman has nards. That movie's so great. The Monster Squad's fantastic. Let's see. Monster Squad is one of my mom's favorite movies, and my brother already introduced his 5-year-old and 3-year-old girls to it. It's a good movie. Your mom has good taste. I love how it feels like a cheaper version of the Goonies, but it's still a fun movie. And that's another film that they would never make with today's sensibilities. Like when Dracula calls the little girl a bitch, they would not allow that kind of thing in a movie. Let's see. Swinging Cod says, by inserting the SJW into their product, they damage their brand as inoffensive family fare. Once that is gone, it's gone. Moist is right. Metro sucks. Yes, once you take away the inoffensive family fare, because Star Wars, while it has deeper things and does have some violence, overall, you could just show it to like a 5 or 7-year-old kid, and it's fine. But when they try to subvert your expectations and indoctrinate you to some garbage, well, then people are a little more aware. And I always think parents should be more aware of what they show their kids. Maybe you don't want to watch some crappy cartoon with your kid, but you don't want to mistakenly show your kid Happy Tree Friends, because that might damage them. That's all I can say. I guess Brandon Moist is right again, so we'll have to just agree with him on that one. But Swinging Cod, I foresee a lot of Disney stuff. The thing is, though, all these places, I don't want to say shill for Disney, but that kind of is the accurate phrase. They do shill for Disney. They basically will accept and do anything Disney wants. And that's not a good thing for us as a consumer. That's all I can say. Let's see. I haven't seen the Suspiria remake, or I haven't heard about it. I've seen the original though. Predator's a goddamn classic. Yeah, Predator's a fantastic movie. I don't like Predator 2. Yeah, Joe, I'm with you there. Halloween 2018 was all right. Not bad, but not great. I have reevaluated my Halloween listing. It goes Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 2018, Halloween 4, Halloween H2O, Halloween 5, 6, and then the 2 Rob Zombie flicks. And then Resurrection, and then the 2 Rob Zombie flicks. There you go. That's my Halloween list right there. But folks, thank you for joining me on this very impromptu version of Good Morning Pop Culture. I'm going to get my ass back to work on this video so you guys can enjoy that in just a little while. And tonight's the High Council. It's on Ethan's channel, and tomorrow is my all-day Halloween stream here on the channel. So if you guys just want to hang out with us in the morning and listen to Trent, Nick, Kendo, and myself discuss all kinds of stuff, and we don't have to strictly talk about the films. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand that our movie streams aren't necessarily meant to be straight up discussions about films for 2 hours straight. No, when I hang out with my buddies, we'll go off on tangents. We'll talk about other things. So believe me, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's all day. And hopefully we can hit that 24-hour marker and end with Good Morning Pop Culture. Could you imagine that? I can imagine that. So thank you to everybody out there. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you guys are liking the videos, giving it a thumbs up, all that happy horse shit. And I'll catch you in just a few short moments.